You know, they say there's a new cyber attack every 39 seconds somewhere on the web. But what does that really mean? It's way more than just a statistic. Today, we're going to go beyond the scary headlines and look at the real stories behind these attacks, what they show us about our digital lives, and why this stuff matters to every single one of us. Okay, let's dive right in.
And I mean, really, take a second and think about it. Your bank account info, your private messages, all your photos, even where you've been. It's all out there living in the digital world. So what happens when the locks on that world just break?
And that's really the heart of it, isn't it? We're not just talking about confusing tech jargon and shadowy hackers in hoodies. Nope. We're talking about actual stories with real people, real victims, and consequences that jump right off the screen and into our everyday lives.
So welcome to what you could call the digital battlefield. On this battlefield, the weapons are just lines of code, and the whole internet is the battleground. But don't get me wrong, the results of these digital fights have very, very real effects in our physical world.
And, you know, the first shot fired on this battlefield, it's hardly ever some super complex, crazy assault. Most of the time, it's something almost laughably simple. Just one person, a moment of not paying attention, and one single click on a bad link. That's really all it takes.
So, let's make this real. Let's look at a case study. Our first story takes us inside a massive retail company, a name I guarantee you know. What went down with them shows just how a tiny little crack can turn into a catastrophic flood.
All right, so picture this. The year is 2013. It's the middle of the holiday shopping craze. Millions of us are out there swiping our credit cards at one of the biggest retailers in the country, totally clueless that right behind all the holiday cheer, a massive digital heist is already underway.
Okay, now this timeline, this is fascinating. This wasn't some quick smash and grab job. It was slow. It was methodical. Look at day one. One phishing email gets opened by one employee. 22 days later, malware is silently installed. Then you jump all the way to day 90. That's when they actually start stealing the data. But here's the kicker. It took until day 210 for anyone in the public to even know it was happening. Crazy.
So what was that first domino to fall? Phishing. It's basically a digital con game. The attackers send an email that looks totally legit, like it's from your bank or your boss, and they try to trick you into clicking a dangerous link or giving up your password. So simple, but wow, is it effective.
So what was the final price tag for that one mistaken click? This, 110 million. Just let that number wash over you. That's how many customers had their credit card info and personal data flat out stolen. The scale is it's honestly hard to even wrap your head around.
That whole retail mess was about data and money. But our next story shows what happens when a cyber attack hits something way more critical, our health. Yeah, we're talking about a ransomware attack on a hospital where the stakes are literally life and death.
Okay, so imagine a burglar breaks into your house, but instead of stealing stuff, he locks everything you own in an unbreakable safe and then tells you you have to pay him for the key. That, in a nutshell, is ransomware. It encrypts a hospital's entire system. We're talking patient records, lab results, everything, and holds it all hostage until they pay up.
And this isn't just some problem for the IT department. This becomes a full-blown public health emergency. Just look at these stats. 95% of appointments canceled. 70% of surgeries postponed. Ambulances with critically ill patients inside being turned away. This is the real-world chaos that happens when a hospital's digital heart gets ripped out.
And this quote from an administrator who was there, it says it all. The doctors, the nurses, they were forced to work without any medical histories, no digital tools. They were literally flying blind. The risk to patients' lives was real and absolutely terrifying.
So we've seen two totally different attacks, two different kinds of targets, but they've got one thing in common, just devastating consequences that ripple out and affect so many people. So let's break down that fallout and see who really ends up paying the price.
You can really split the cost into two big buckets. You've got the deeply personal cost for all the individuals who get caught up in this mess, and then there's the huge corporate cost for the organizations that couldn't protect them.
For people like you and me, the impact is, well, it's personal. It's that horrible sinking feeling you get when you see a weird charge on your credit card. It's the constant stress of checking your credit score, the fear of having your identity stolen, and just that slow, creeping feeling that you can't trust the places that are supposed to keep your info safe.
And for the companies, The damage is nothing short of catastrophic. We're talking millions, sometimes billions of dollars in cleanup costs, fines, and lawsuits. But, the money might not even be the worst part. It's the complete destruction of their reputation, the loss of customer trust. That's something that can take decades to fix, if it can be fixed at all.
All of this brings up a pretty important question. If these attacks are so awful, why does it feel like they're happening more and more often? Why are they getting more intense every year?
It pretty much boils down to 3 key things. First, there are just way more targets now. I mean, our phones, smart TVs, even our cars, they're all online, creating this giant playground for attackers. Second, the criminals themselves have seriously leveled up. This isn't just a few kids in a basement anymore. We're talking about organized, well-funded criminal groups. And third, the reward is bigger than ever. Our data has basically become the new gold.
So we've seen the damage, we kind of get the why now. So what can we actually learn from all this? What are the big lessons from these digital front lines that can help us all build a stronger defense for the future?
So, what are the big takeaways here? Well, first, all the best technology in the world can't save you from one bad click. It proves that we, the users, are the first and most critical line of defense. Second, cybersecurity is a team sport. It is everybody's responsibility, from the CEO right down to the newest hire. Third, prevention is everything. A simple training session on how to spot a phishing email could have saved that retailer billions. And finally, we just can't forget what's really at risk here. It's not just data, it's people's lives, their savings, and their sense of safety.
And that really brings us to an important point. This digital world of ours, it needs guardians. It needs people who love solving puzzles, ethical hackers, digital detectives, people who can write better policies, just people who are passionate about protecting others. If you're looking for a job that has real meaning, cybersecurity is a place where you can be a hero every single day.
We'll end on this thought. Every single day, our world gets more connected, more complicated. We are all building this new digital reality together. So the question is, who's going to step up to protect it? Maybe it could be you.